The guns have finally fallen silent across the scarred fields of France, leaving an oppressive stillness in their wake. We now stand amidst the smoking ruin of what was once a great power, listening to the fading echoes. Steel behemoths lie dead and blackened in the churning mud, their internal fires slowly burning themselves out into ash. The immense cost of this swift, brutal campaign is written plainly in every pile of ash and twisted metal. History held its breath here for a moment, and then exhaled in a devastating torrent of fire and steel. Now, it feels as though only the ghosts remain, wandering silently among the colossal wreckage of fallen empires. Abandoned helmets and broken rifles form a grim carpet, marking the path where the final desperate stands took place. The setting sun cast a blood-red glow on a broken landscape, forever changed by the passing of this storm. Exhausted survivors move like shadows through the smoke, too weary to celebrate, only able to survey the devastation. This silence is heavy, not with peace, but with the overwhelming weight of all that was lost here today. The rivers flow past broken bridges, silent witnesses to the chaotic retreat that finally ended on these muddy banks. Great guns that once thundered in defiance now sit cold, pointed uselessly at the empty, indifferent gray sky. In the town squares, cobblestones are scarred by heavy tracks, and clocks have stopped on the hour of doom. Inside the fortifications, the air is stale with cordite and the lingering, heavy sense of sudden, desperate abandonment. The victors rest not in triumph, but in deep fatigue, leaning against the iron beast that brought them here. Roads bear the sorrowful debris of an exodus, where forgotten toys lie beside discarded ammunition crates in the dust. From above, the convoys look like broken toys scattered by a careless child, rusted iron stretching to the horizon. Smoke drifts lazily over vineyards, where the earth has been fed by ash and the wreckage of fallen wings. A letter flutters in the breeze, carrying words of love that will never reach a home that waits in vain. The battle for France has ended, but the long, dark night of occupation is only just beginning to fall. The deep scars in the earth are filled with shadows, where men once huddled against the relentless storm of steel. A discarded gas mask stares blindly into the gathering dark, its empty eyes witnessing a world it no longer recognizes. Birds return cautiously to the broken power lines, perched above the silent, hulking shapes of iron that no longer move. White flags hang limp from the shattered windows, signaling a surrender that came too late to save the burning stones. Bicycles and farm carts lie tangled with tank treads, a tragic collision of innocent, peaceful life and war's machine. As twilight deepens, the fires glow brighter across the horizon, like wounds in the night that refuse to close. The heat radiating from the metal begins to fade, leaving only the cold, biting reality of defeat to settle in. We walk through a graveyard of ambition, where the pride of nations has been reduced to nothing but twisted scrap. An overturned helmet collects the evening dew, a small, silent vessel holding the memory of a fallen soldier. And so the curtain falls on this tragedy, leaving only the wind to mourn alone over the silent fields of France. Under the pale watch of the moon, the iron skeletons cast long, twisted shadows across the cratered land. Even the holy sanctuaries offer no refuge, their stained glass shattered into 1,000 shards of colored light. Radios that once screamed with urgent orders now sit broken, their wires cut, speaking only to the dead. Strategic maps, drawn with such confidence, are now just paper blowing aimlessly across the debris of defeat. As the cold gray dawn begins to break, it reveals the true, unvarnished magnitude of the catastrophe. The morning mist rises like spirits leaving the earth, wrapping the fallen machines in a shroud of white. The steel arteries of the nation are severed, trains derail and rust where they were struck by thunder. Yet, amidst the oil and ash, the grass still grows, indifferent to the shifting borders of men. In the abandoned trenches, an unfinished mill sits cold, a ghostly reminder of a life interrupted by fate. The war has moved on, leaving behind a graveyard of metal that will scar this landscape for generations. A muddy photograph captures a smiling face, a frozen memory now drowning in the soil of sudden defeat. Anti-tank guns sit silent in their pits, surrounded by spent casings, their futile resistance finally at an end. Walls that once sheltered families now stand open to the elements, their domestic secrets exposed to the cold air. The forests have been stripped of their leaves, standing like broken sentinels guarding a graveyard of twisted metal. Torn propaganda posters flutter weakly against the brick, their bold slogans mocking the absolute ruin lying beneath them. Rows of supply trucks wait for drivers who will never return, their cargo looted and scattered across the road. The sun climbs higher, illuminating the vast scars that tear violently across the once peaceful and green countryside. A child's bicycle lies abandoned by the riverbank, a small, silent tragedy resting amidst the debris of war. Weapons are piled high in the village square, a rusting monument to the surrender of a proud army. As the dust settles, we are left with this haunting image, a nation fallen, silent under the indifferent sky. The morning coffee sits cold on shattered terraces, where laughter was silenced by the sudden arrival of war. Foreign signs now point the way on familiar roads, marking the beginning of a long and bitter occupation. Livestock wander aimlessly through the smoke, masters of the fields gone, leaving nature to reclaim the scorched earth. Suitcases lie burst open in the ditches, spilling the intimate treasures of lives uprooted and cast into the wind. Stone heroes of the last great war look down sorrowfully upon a defeat they could not rise to prevent. Mountains of spent brass glint in the sun, a golden testament to the fury that burned through these valleys. The sky finally clears of bombers, but the silence it leaves behind is heavier than the thunder of guns. The harvests of generations are reduced to embers, the warmth of home extinguished by the cold tide of history. The map of Europe has been rewritten in blood, and the old world we knew has vanished into the smoke. Here lies the pride of a republic, buried in the mud, waiting for a liberation that is years away. Long columns of men march slowly east into captivity, leaving behind a silence that screams of total loss. The rifles are stacked like firewood, cold and useless, fuel for a fire that has already burned out. Hope is a fragile thing here, crushed under the heavy weight of tracks and the bitter taste of dust. The sun sets once more on the wreckage, indifferent to the borders drawn and erased by mortal men today. We are left to wander these ruins, counting the cost of a storm that swept away an entire era. The noise of battle has faded, replaced only by the rhythmic, heavy boots of a new and dark order. Rust will soon claim these machines, but the deep memory of this collapse will haunt the soul forever. This is the end of the beginning, a twilight that descends before the longest night Europe has ever known. So we leave the fallen fields, where history is written not in ink, but in iron, blood, and tears. France has fallen, and the world holds its breath in the dark, waiting for the first light of dawn.